Okay, continuing where we left off. This is verse 22. These little ones being suckled are like those who are entering the kingdom. They said to him, "Then will we enter the kingdom as little ones?" Jesus said to them, "When you make the two into one, and you make the inside like the outside, and the outside like the inside, and above like the below, then that's when you become split. Then you reconcile your differences. You decide you want to go with God. You you make your decision. You go with God. You become one, have one mind, have God." And that's a common thing too. One mind, one love, one idea of how to do things, God's way. And then there's the making the male and female into a single thing. For a male, that's like knowing about the kids and how to raise kids, all about kids. Some cultures that might be cooking food. You're basically just supposed to try to understand both roles that people play in life, and not just be. You need to be well balanced. If you're just completely feminine or completely masculine, you're going to not know the other side of the equation, kind of thing. The more balanced you are at saying, the less trouble you'll have getting to the peak of your meditation whenever you need to. Then next it says, "And when you make eyes instead of an eye," now this is the third eye. Instead of having an eye, you make eyes, which is, instead of just having your normal sight, you have a third eye now too. You have more eyes. And when your third eye opens, that is in your meditation, when you get to the peak, with the top of the chakras, and your true meditation field opens, that is like the third eye opening. When they say the third eye, when you get to that point, the meditation field opens up and shows you the mirror, and your hands can then manifest. And if you're really talented, you can manifest feet and walk around and stuff. Now, so it talks about the third eye. Here's another hint to Hinduism. I've never heard a lot of Kabbalah, but I've never heard Kabbalah talk about the third eye. I think there probably is something like that in there, but I've never heard anybody talk about it. Must be some kind of special secret or something, right? That's why we have to look to the Hindus. They seem to be the only ones that have kept the secrets of the meditation. And not only that, they seem to have had higher beings come along and parse through the information, organize it, to where it's easier for us to understand. I've taken a little bit of a look at the Kabbalah thing, and it just didn't make much sense to me like it does when you look at the Hindu thing. The Hindu thing is very intuitive, I think, compared to the Kabbalah thing. Now, and then after it says make eyes, it says make hands and make feet. Exactly, it says, and when you make eyes instead of an eye, and a hand instead of a hand, and a foot instead of a foot, this is just saying these aren't your real feet or your real eyes. These are, when you're in meditation, you manifest these things. You have to imagine them. You have to, meditation is like a practice of using your imagination. It's like an exercise in your imagination. Because you have to imagine some of these things, like manifesting the hands and stuff like that. And as you go through your meditation, imagining things and visualizing things helps a lot. And then it says, after you have successfully done these things in your meditation, then you'll enter the kingdom. And this is exactly how it is in all the meditations. Once you reach the top, you connect to God, sort of thing. That's what they mean by enter the kingdom. Also, one note here is that when you do this, when you try to attack meditation, you try to learn this and figure it out, and when you become a servant of God, a huge part of it is just having an open mind, being a student, and not quitting, not giving up. So many places in the Bible, and Lao Tzu talks about, so many people give up. So many people give up right after they've begun, and so many people give up right before they finish, right before they are about to earn the prize, the prize of prizes. They give up right at that point. To whereas all they need is a little bit more effort, because it's hard at the end. Just like when you get to the higher parts of the the higher chakras, it gets a little bit harder. And understand that when you do this meditation, this is not relaxing and being still. That is like a horrible way to look at it. There's nothing really relaxing when you do meditation. When you do meditation, it's a serious thing that you put a lot of effort into, and you, like in the Bible, they say you do it zealously. You're eager to learn, you're eager to be with God again, you're eager to try to understand more. It's never like a passive thing at all. Next, verse 23, Jesus says, I will choose you, 1 from 1,000 and 2 from 10,000. And they will stand as a single one. What he's just saying here is that he will choose people that have completed this, that have reached all the way up to the top, have connected with God. And when you do that, when you get to the top chakras and your third eye opens, then that's when you have a connection to God. As long as you have that, then as long as you have the ability to maintain that connection, then you will enter the kingdom of God. And anyone that's connected that well to God will be of one mind, sort of thing, as they stand as a single one. You'll understand God's intentions, and you'll be aligned. Everyone will be aligned in that way. Everybody will understand things the same way. And it's interesting how that works. Even if you don't reach all the way up to the top, even if you're just floating around here, messing around with meditation, you will still slowly learn things and gain an understanding of God. Verse 24, his disciples said, "Show us the place where you are, because it is necessary for us to seek." He said to them, "Whoever has ears should hear. Light exists inside a person of light, and he shines in the whole world. If he does not shine, there is darkness." Now this is the main thing that this is trying to say. We've kind of already gone over that when you meditate, you see the light inside you. One thing I haven't really gone over is when you meditate, your belly kind of becomes what they call a void in a way, or the sun. It kind of feels like there's sunshine in your belly, kind of like sunshine on your skin. This is like kind of what sometimes people say there's light inside them here too, because it kind of feels like sunshine. But you kind of get that all over your whole body when you meditate. So when you get to the top chakras and your third eye opens and the Kundalini rises, your whole body starts feeling like it has sunshine on your skin, like your whole body is tingling with this warmth. That's sometimes what people describe as the light inside you too. But what this is mostly trying to say, I think, is just a person that does have a connection to God. They show it because they become righteous, and they try to spread God's word, sort of thing. And in doing that, you shine, right? If you don't shine with the Lord when He's inside of you, then the Lord is probably not inside of you, which is what this is probably trying to say. And if He does not shine, there is darkness. So you could lose your connection. You could do something terrible, lose your connection, and then you don't shine anymore. You might be depressed. Verse 25, love your brother like your life. Protect him like the apple of your eye. This is something that a lot of Christians seem to miss these days. Just to love your brother, love your neighbor, love everybody around you as much as you can. And even there's the old saying, keep your enemies close. When it comes to Jesus' philosophy, there's really no, it's always wrong to reject people and to push them away, and it's always better for you to try to take care of the bad person, even if they are bad. It's best to just love everybody, but even if they are a bad person, it's best to try to take care of them how you would have someone take care of yourself, kind of thing. That's always my go-to default for Christianity. Do unto others as others you would have others do unto you, sort of thing. That one is always going to be true, and it's interesting that line has been stuck in a lot of different religions around the world. You see it everywhere. So yeah, think what's saying there is never turn your back on your brother, never discard your brother, never hate people. Always try to take care of people however you can. If you do not abstain from the world, you will not find the kingdom. Now this is talking about material things in the material world. You have to distance yourself from the material world, or you will not be able to serve God. You can't serve two masters. If you covet material things, then it will make you really hard. You cannot do that and have a connection to God at the same time. It just doesn't work. If you do not make the Sabbath into Sabbath, you will not see the Father. I don't think this technically means that you have to do something on Sunday per se. Like all the different religions seem to have a different holiday, in a way. Sunday is just a Western thing. I think what this really just trying to say is that if you work too much, you're not going to have time to connect to God and to contemplate things. And this is really common in our society, that people work so much, they don't have time to do a lot of this self-maintenance that people need to maintain themselves. And when you can't do any maintenance and you're just overworked and you never get a chance to even think about stuff, you just get programmed with whatever garbage you hear. You never get to sort through it, and you become confused, and then you become blind. So this is the whole thing about seeing through the illusion of the material world and understanding its importance or its unimportance, and how important God really is. More important than anything in the material world. Verse 28, Jesus says, I stood in the middle of the world, and in flesh I appeared to them. I found all of them drunk. None of them did I find thirsty. Now that's, when they talk about people thirsty, it means they need God. If they're drunk, off of the bubbling spring or whatever, it means that they've found God. They've gotten into meditation, and they've gotten into their chakras, and they're learning stuff. They're on the path. They are devotees, and they are hungry for more knowledge. So they're thirsty like that. But when they get into meditation and get going with it and start understanding things and stuff, then they start reaping the benefits, and then they become drunk with the positive effects of meditation. And for some of these people, it may have been a problem that they meditated too much, it seems. Some of them seem to talk like they're going to stay in the temple day and night and stuff like this. I don't personally see how anybody tries to do that myself. It seems a little overkill, but that is what people do when they are like really seriously on a quest. When people get really serious, like the gurus that go and hide in a cave for a long time. It's like really serious. But you really don't. Now that does make things go faster. But you really don't need to do that. The main thing is just making a little bit of time for yourself to connect and contemplate things. instead of working all the time. And it says, my soul ached for the children of humanity because they are blind in their heart and they cannot see. So here it's telling him that he found, none of them did he find thirsty, and then he's complaining that none of them were thirsty. So these people were not hungry for God. It says they cannot see, they are blind, for they came into the world empty. This is interesting because sometimes they act like people come into the world with the Spirit of Christ and stuff, and then sometimes they say that people came into the world empty. I'm not sure exactly what that is trying to say. Oh, this is just saying they came into the world empty, and so they will depart the world empty. That's just saying you can't take your material stuff with you. This is actually doesn't have much double meaning. It looks like it's just saying that they're drunk. I don't think there's a whole lot to see there. 29. If the flesh came into being because of the Spirit, it is a wonder. But if the Spirit came into being because of the body, it is a wonder of wonders. Yet I marvel at how this great wealth has taken up residence in this poverty. So I don't think there's a whole lot to see here. I think that they're trying to just state it is a wonder that meditation, that you can find meditation in God inside this this body, even though sometimes it's just terrible. Sometimes your body is in poor health, but often you can still find God with it, and so it's a wonder. And I think it's saying that when a person becomes enlightened through meditation, it's a wonder, because you've taken what was just a body somehow and you've created a pure spirit or something like that from it, which is something God appreciates, I guess. I mean, it makes sense. That's like his goal, right? To try to recruit his people of his mind, like-minded. And you only get that way through meditation. Okay. 30. Where there are 3 gods, they are gods. Where there are 2 or 1, I am with them. Okay, I think this is what they're trying to say here is, when you're in meditation and there's more than 2, it's not going to be God you're looking at. Like you may see a scene with a bunch of people in your meditation, or you may feel something. You may even hear multiple voices or something. That's not going to be God. You're going to know it's God when you are one. When there's only one thing there with you. You become one with it. You are one. God is there. It's saying that's when you're with him. is there's a certain sort of scene that you see when God's presence is in your meditation, sort of thing. And if it's different than that, I think it's trying to say that's not going to be God, it's something else.